After that, I wrote and produced a musical called Leave It on the Floor, and here we are with I Do. And before that, I kind of cut my teeth on documentaries and reality shows on television and a bunch of short films. My first short film, Stephen Israel over there, was a programmer at the Slam Dance Film Festival up in Utah and programmed that, and that is like kind of what...
and traveled the world and had a bunch of hits in the UK and Europe and Asia, and it was fantastic. And then I got over that, and I was in Quinceañera in 2006 that won the Audience Award and Grand Jury Prize at Sundance, and was in Berlin. It won the John Cassavetes Award at the Spirit Awards, and that really set me on the film route, and now here with I Do, which is awesome.
That's great. I'm glad we know your background. What about you, Stephen?
I've been making films since 1994. My first film was called Swimming with Sharks, which I think played here.
Yes, that was great.
And since then, this is I think my 12th film. Highlights of, I don't know, there's a Boy Culture played here as well, I think. Yeah. But before that, I have an ugly corporate history as management consultant and a rocket scientist. But I've been making movies for about 20 years.
Well, that's right. Now, how did I Do come about? David, how did you come up with the idea for the film?
It was several things. First of all, I thought it was going to be kind of like a gay green card comedy. I thought it was hilarious that a gay guy would marry a lesbian.
I expected there to be some. There's no comedy in this.
Oh no, it was a little bit of comedy. And then over the years of developing it, I started shooting photography because Jack's a photographer, so I started shooting. And then I started shooting the Prop 8 rallies in California. I was actually the official photographer for a bunch of rallies, and it was during that time I would look out to the crowd and see gay families with children. And I actually just talked to a friend of mine, and she reminded me. She's like, "David, do you remember that day you called me from the rally?" She said you couldn't stop crying. It really, really hit home that this issue is affecting American families. I mean, children, as well as mums and dads and dads. And that's really, really why it became much more of a drama. And the fact that the DOMA, Defense of Marriage Act, it's not just the couple that gets affected, it's everyone around the couple. So therefore, if you do the math, it's everyone's issue. DOMA's affecting everybody, American families in and out of this country. So that's been my guiding light, and that's kept me up at night. But here we are, it's amazing, I'm so lucky.
How long did it take you to write the film?
48 hours.
Really?
But it took me 9 years and 48 hours. But yeah, development time was nine years, and then when I realized I had to kill the brother, I woke up Monday morning and was done with the script on Tuesday evening.
Wow. Bonkers. But it's so current. I mean, so you had to update it. If you were.
The only thing that we updated was they were going to get married in Massachusetts, and then it went through in New York, and so that was the only change. And for me, it's very relevant, but it's been relevant to the couples and the people that have been dealing with DOMA for many, many years. And I think it's incredible the Supreme Court is going to be ruling probably in a couple of weeks on the constitutionality of DOMA. And it's a dream come true for me as a filmmaker to have it come out at this point. I mean, we had no idea, having worked on it for a couple of years, that the month of June when it's in cinemas is fantastic.
And Glenn, how did you become the director of the film?
Well, so it all goes back to that Slam Dance Film Festival with Stephen, meeting him, and we had worked on another project together, and I'd heard about I Do for quite a number of years, and what I had heard was this wacky comedy, and I thought that sounded kind of stupid, and so it wasn't all that interesting to me. But
it was kind of funny at the beginning.
Yeah, but I thought it sounded stupid. And so I got a couple opinions or two, and so. But I'd heard about it, through the years as it was developing, and I'd met David through Stephen. And so as it started to become more of a reality, and I had heard he had rewritten it and turned it into a drama, I asked to read it. I loved it. And so at one of Stephen's dinner parties, David got down on one knee and proposed that I direct I Do. And
he dropped his wallet and you went to get it.
Yeah. He dropped his handkerchief. And so that's how that came about, actually. That was a couple years ago, right?
I think so, yeah.
And where did the film open? Where did this film start? What festival did it open to?
Well, we had a sneak preview last year at Frameline, but the official world premiere was at Outfest last year. We played at the Ford Amphitheater, which is about 1,000 seat outdoor cinema, which is just an amazing place to premiere a movie.
Louder, yeah.
We have to put the microphone
Sorry.
by your mouth.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, there you go.
He used to sing, so he knows.
No,
I
the,
love it when it has a cable so you can flick it.
Did you lip sync?
I used to lip sync for my life.
You and Rick. So where did the film open?
the film premiered at the Outfest, Los Angeles Gay and Lesbian Film Festival at the Ford Amphitheater, which is a lovely place to premiere a movie, 1,000-seat outdoors.
Is it 1,000 or 1,400?
I think it's 1,100.
All I know is about 80% of the people that we knew in LA came out to see the film, and halfway through the film I realized they were all going to see my bottom.
And that wouldn't have been the first time, probably.
Don't let my boyfriend
You're not
say.
shy. You're not shy about it.
The
That's
mood
okay.
shifted in.
Well, let's just say that that particular scene was written differently. It was a very, very stressful day. I had just killed myself. We were over in time. We had done about 30 shots that day, and the crew was packing up, and it literally was, get in the shower, take your clothes off. So it was meant to have a strategically placed towel and be, you know, but no, that's what you got. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. How many days did it take to shoot the film?
We shot the. Can you hear me? Yeah. We shot the film 16 days in Los Angeles, 2 days in New York for exteriors, and 1 day in Spain. Spain-ish, to the end.
Yeah, where was Spain-ish?
Spain light, as we like to
Spain
call
light,
it.
yeah.
Temecula, California.
That's my guess.
I said it's a guess. It's either Temecula or Desert Hot Springs somewhere.
There was this funny situation where we got the we had this whole conversation about the car. We must have a car, and I'm like, I'll just rent a bloody Fiat 500 because that's, you know, we'll just get that. And then the props guy got the number plate, and Stephen had a meltdown. He's like, this should be an E, not an I.
Yeah, they brought an Italian license plate instead of a Spanish one. The prop guy walks up to me and says, I got the license plate. I'm like, that's Italian.
Out came the black tape, and the I became an E.
White tape.
Was it white?
It was white tape, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was brilliant. How'd you get the cast together? Because you have some really famous, terrific people in this cast.
I was lucky enough to be with an agency, and my agent got the script to Jamie Lynn and Alicia, and very quickly they came on board, which was incredible. And then our amazing casting directors, one of them, is she? Okay.
She's not here.
No. We had casting sessions, and slowly but surely people came in, and we were all blown away by the people that came in. I mean, so lucky to get Jessica Tyler Brown, the little girl. I mean,
Yeah, she's
incredible,
terrific.
right? That could have gone really the wrong way, but she was amazing.
Now, 2 questions about the film. How come Jamie Lynn Sigler has no life? Your lesbian wife. I mean, you get an idea that she has no life. And why did you write it that you had to meet somebody from a foreign country? Because I could leave here today and say, well, until it's federally approved same-sex marriage, you better meet a rich foreigner and move home with him.
Well, he's an American citizen. He was, as he says, he was born in America but lived in Spain. For me, it was very interesting to find out that Spain has full rights for gay couples. Spain is a very religious country. And I also think that in America, I was trying to make this a more kind of crossover popular film. A lot of times, Spanish actors are very popular in the movies. People kind of snicker at French and Italian people. So I made him Spanish because I thought it would be sexy.
And why does Jamie Lynn Sigler have no life?
Well, I think that with film, you know, I wished we'd had more scenes together, but then the way that you structure a film, that would have had to have come in the sort of second half of the movie, and already stuff was happening where we couldn't actually show them together. In earlier drafts, there was a lot more of us hanging out in bars and clubs. Right. But in order to get the story moving, especially in the first 20 minutes, you have to kind of, you know, be as, I don't know what the word is, but frugal, I guess.
And who played your brother? I mean, that would be my luck. It'd be my first movie, and you would say you're in it for 3 minutes and you die.
It's Grant Bowler.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's amazing. He said yes. I was like, really? You're gonna do this? You're in it for like a minute. So
Yeah, Grant Bowler, for those of you not familiar with him, he was on Ugly Betty, True Blood.
Right.
He played Richard Burton to Lindsay Lohan's Elizabeth Taylor in that phenomenal,
Fabulous movie.
phenomenal called Liz and Dick.
Yeah, Lindsay
He's on
Lohan was just
He's on a
brilliant.
sci-fi series now he's starring in called Defiance. And yeah, he was like our first choice.
Should we open it to questions from the audience? Anyone have a question? Yes,
I
ma'am.
do. I was just wondering.
He said I do.
Now, belt it out, belt it out.
I was just wondering about the timing. You know, when I'm like a little older than you, and this movie would have been totally unacceptable when I was a youth. How do you think that it will be perceived today by the public?
Well,
Just
right now,
let me just repeat
oh, yeah,
it for the
yeah,
people
yeah.
that, this lady wants to know how the movie is going to be perceived today by the public. It would not have been accepted probably years ago.
We have 5-star ratings on iTunes right now from over 26 people.
You have what?
We have over 26 5-star ratings and a really incredible comments and doing the festival circuit, and a lot of people would stand up and say how much they love the film, young and old. So I think for me, I really wanted to get this film out before the presidential elections because I had a feeling that gay marriage would be part of the conversation then. We were in festivals, we weren't out wide. So for me, the timing is honestly just blind luck and a bit of bubblegum and some sticky tape.
And you tell us how it was perceived. You're the audience.
Well, I really perceived it, but I mean, I've had a lot of personal growth in my own life over the years, and I really perceived it as truly a love story, and I would have gone to Italy sooner.
Or Spain.
Or Spain. You would have gone to the wrong country. There's no one waiting in Italy.
But I would have gone to Spain sooner.
But if you enjoyed the movie and you know people where they can't come see it in the theater, it's also available on demand. They can watch it right now on iTunes, Amazon, cable, whatever their on demand is. So, we're hoping to reach a wide audience that way. It's in 100+ million homes right now.
What awards have you won so far? Don't be modest.
Well, we started that out at the
Yes,
introduction.
but we didn't name, you know.
Okay, so we've won 8 film festival awards, 2 for David's acting in Miami and in Philadelphia.
That was very expensive. I had to send them big checks.
And we won
Atlanta.
audience awards in Atlanta,
Long Beach.
Long Beach, Bloomington, Indiana, Seattle, Best
we
of
were
the Fest
best-
at Palm Springs International Film Festival.
And Best in the Fest, one of the
Well,
film
there's-
festival.
Don't look at me.
And you're up
I
for
don't
more tonight.
remember.
Aren't you up for more tonight?
Well, there's a couple of festivals ending tonight. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 8 of them.
Do you have a, oh, well, I'll ask this lady, okay.
Go ahead.
How do you think this is going to play in the red states?
How is this going to play in the red states?
When it plays on iTunes, cable, VOD, it's going to be in the red states. No.
My feeling has always been that the American public, by and large, are very fair. And too much of the time, the marriage equality debate focuses on marriage. And to most of the world, when you think of marriage, you think of, the walk down the aisle and church. Whereas what we're trying to kind of do with a film like this is to try and show that there's some real meat and potatoes fairness issues. I think if you can take the conversation away from the walk down the aisle and the religious aspect of marriage and take it to the simple matter of human rights, where one set of people is treated completely different from another, I think if we can move the conversation to the discussion of the 1,500 or so enumerated rights of marriage in federal law, I think we're going to have a much better time of that discussion. And we didn't make this film just to show people who agreed with us. We made this film to change minds. So hopefully a few people in red states will change their minds.
But I think we're in a good place because, the tide is turning. I mean, statistically now, there are more Americans for gay marriage. And I think that a lot of the younger kids, they don't even see it as gay and straight marriage. They don't have that issue at all. So I think that we're in a really good position. I think we still have a long way to go. But yeah, the middle of the country's an interesting
Yeah,
place.
we're playing in Juneau, Alaska, so maybe a Palin or 2 will see this too.
You better put subtitles with big letters. Yes, ma'am.
Can they
I
read?
just want to say that I felt that this film, above and beyond anything else, showed human connections, beautiful human connections. And there have been a couple of other films that touched on these issues that were like that, and we can remember them as clear as anything. This is a beautiful film, and you've done a great job with it. And I think that's the key right there, the human connections and how important they are, above and beyond anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. The movie gal. This is the movie gal. She has tough.
Hi.
I just wanted to follow up on what this lady said, because you asked a question about Spain earlier on, why was he from Spain? Part of the reason for that was we wanted Jack as a character to make the decision that his relationship with his partner was more important than the green card and more important than anything else. So that's kind of the reason why he was Spanish as opposed to American and staying here. It was more about him having to make that choice. And we felt that we make a stronger case for the immigration rights if he had to choose to leave.
Okay, wait. I'm going to do my Phil Donahue.
Hi, guys. I love the film. There was a point in the very beginning of the film when the brothers are talking, and the straight brother says to the gay brother, well, you have it so much easier. You know, your life is not as complicated. And can you address that, how that came about and when you were writing the script?
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that as for me, an important part of the gay experience. I read a book called The Velvet Rage that really helped me with my sexuality, because I'm an out gay actor. And so the book is about how we grew up in a straight-centric world. And a lot of times we're bombarded with heterosexual images of love, romance, and women are basically brought up just to get married. And we're a kind of a society obsessed with romantic love and marriage. And it's very difficult when you're gay, growing up in that kind of psychological soup, because you feel like I could never have that. And I wanted to show that straight people, I hate using the word straight and gay, but you know what I'm talking about. Straight people have other pressures, and those pressures are we have an ordained path of, you know, we must meet somebody and get married and have kids. And so I really wanted to show also that Jack as a character really wants a family. He really wants to have maybe a husband and a child and that whole thing. And then all of a sudden, it's, you know, he's having to live that experience. And I think that it can be, I think it's challenging for an urban gay man to have to like bring those two elements together. And I was really interested in that.
Thank you.
I ask you, Dave, what's it like being an out actor in Hollywood?
Oh, it's great. I have to make a movie and put myself in it to actually get any work.
Is that the truth? I
I'm gonna be
it's a joke, but I mean, is it harder to get roles?
Well, I mean, honestly, after Quinceañera, I was really reticent about doing that because it was a gay character, but I loved the script so much. I had no idea it was going to go on to do what it did, but I had a real feeling about the script. I was, you know, I want to do this film. And then I basically put my career on hold to write the film I do. So we'll see. I mean, everyone seems to be changing their opinions in the industry. A lot of people are coming out, albeit with massive careers, which I think is a lot easier to do when you've got several $1 million in the bank and millions of loving fans, but we'll see. I mean, if I have to be the gay Woody Allen and write film every year or 2 years and put myself in it, then so be it. But and if I have to play gay roles for the rest of my career, that's okay too. I just hope that I truly believe from the audience reactions that we're getting and the type of people that love the film, there's an enlightened audience out there that they don't, if they're seeing a character on screen, it doesn't matter who they fall in love with, basically. And I hope that, you know, becomes more.
I hope that works for you. Yes, ma'am.
You alluded earlier to why didn't the wife have a life. I wondered about her because they referred to her, I think, as a gold star lesbian, but she seemed to have some degree of desire when she saw you in the shower. And why did she marry you?
So the lady wants to know why Jamie Lynn Sigler, the Gold Star lesbian, she did stare at you in the shower.
Oh yes, she
did. She liked you. Yeah. Well, she
saw my
Sopranos. Why she married you?
So there's a term, gold star lesbian, and it actually does mean that she's never had sex with a man. And she was looking at me because we are, holy shit, there's a naked man in the shower. And that then hooks to the immigration question, which is extremely personal about whether or not your husband is circumcised. So I wanted to show, basically, I wanted to show my butt. No, I'm just joking. I wanted to show people that in these immigration interviews that you were asked extremely personal questions. And I've lived with a couple of women. One of them was a lesbian, and she kind of fell in love with me. We were almost living out that straight relationship, and for her it meant more. For me, I was just like, it was my roomie, but for her, I was fulfilling some kind of role for her. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, where you you grow up in a society where you're bombarded with this idea of a man and woman together, and for some reason she started not having, I don't think she actually loved me, but she started thinking that we were married. She got really mad at me when I had a boyfriend. She was so being homophobic. I'm like, you're a lesbian, why are you being homophobic? So that's the background of as me as a writer bringing that kind of thing into it. And why did she marry me? She married me because I was the person that basically had made her career and always made sure that she was hired for every job. She wouldn't be living in New York if it wasn't for me. She felt that she was indebted to me in some way. And she was like, screw it, you know? And I think sometimes people do stuff that they don't calculate the ramifications until it's too late, you know?
And did you ever have a best friend where you think, oh wow, this is a good opportunity, we're going to hang together a lot, and it didn't turn out that way? And that shower scene is really meant for you to fill in the blank. It's meant to be a little ambiguous. She could be looking at it as,
really?
Yeah, she could be looking as a curiosity, or it could have turned her on, but it does come back to bite her in the butt, no pun intended, but you know, later where she has to, you as an audience know, maybe she doesn't know if he's circumcised or not, and so you might reflect back on that scenery.
Well, he's British. Hello, I'm English. Is it realistic to think that a woman in immigration would say to you, get married? Your only hope is to get, I mean, would that?
It happened to a friend of mine.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was told that he either had to start a business and spend X million a year and hire Americans, and he was told that the quickest and easiest thing for you to do is get married.
She had a lesbian son.
She had a gay son.
Oh, and
Yeah, you just had a lesbian son. Which
Yeah,
would be,
she had-
that's another movie.
And she
A
had,
lesbian son is another movie.
and she has a gay son, and she understands what they're up against. And that was me saying to the audience, you know,
She understands.
She understands. She gets it.
Anybody else have a question? Yes,
I have
sir.
a question. I want to know, have you explored the idea of the couple that are both gay, but one of them changes their physiology, becomes the opposite sex, and they have all the rights that you don't?
This lady wants to know if a gay couple gets, a same-sex couple gets married, and then one of the people in that same-sex marriage who's gotten married changes their sex.
They've already
That-
changed.
They've already
Their
changed,
peers-
so-called Chaz Bono. Do you know the
Yeah.
answer?
Well, I was on MSNBC on Tuesday, but I have no idea, absolutely no clue. I'm completely clueless when it comes to that. I think it's really
How does the
fascinating.
gay society feel about,
Transgender people.
feel about that they have rights that you don't?
I'm a bit lost. It's because I've been driving for 3 hours.
I
And
think-
It's a gay couple.
Well, I think that's kind of the point is that we were trying to make, is that this is about marriage equality. It's about a human rights issue where all people should have equal rights, regardless of sexual orientation or or sexual, what's the term of art for it? Gender. Yeah. So
They have those rights if they change their sexuality, that you don't, that gay people.
Well,
don't
is it-
That's
is it-
really, that question is sort of in left field.
I'm completely
Yeah.
lost.
I mean, the movie's just about equal rights for people when it comes to marriage.
We can talk in the
Yeah.
foyer about that.
Yeah, let me ask this gentleman.
David, did you feel it was important that you play the role in the movie, or would you have been comfortable giving it to someone else and let them do it?
The gentleman wants to know if David wanted to star in the movie.
Well, I did at the beginning, didn't I? I mean, I didn't at the beginning, did I? I was like terrified of the whole thing. And they did Quinceañera, and I took Stephen to one of the first screenings before they released it. And I think I turned to him and was like, did he ever play Jack? And then it's very, very hard when I made that decision to write certain scenes. I start losing that shoe. My brother dying, especially, was very hard to write and act those scenes, and also the suicide. I was like, oh God, I have to go there, and yeah, it's definitely challenging. You have to split your writer and your actor mind, you know.
Are you an actor who writes or a writer who acts?
I think I'm both.
And do you enjoy both the same amount?
I've been writing since I was a kid, but I love acting. Yeah, I think that yeah, both, all of it at the same time.
Movie gal.
Someone back here who's
Oh, where?
asked a question.
Oh, well, let me go back here, okay.
I thought your movie was excellent. It was beautiful, beautifully done. And I feel personally that in the next few years, 5 years, like you said, this isn't going to be a big issue as to, gay or lesbian or straight or whatever. It's just going to be part of our society. And these films are going to be just part of the, out there. And they're just going to be who they are and who we are. But I did have one question, which I thought, in the real world, I would think that you would have, to make it easy, you would have married your brother's wife. It would have made life easy. You could have, because you were raising the child anyway, you were there, you were part of that. And it didn't seem like she mattered. It didn't seem like, it mattered to her whether...
Well, I essentially killed her husband.
Let me just say, this lady wants to know why, she thinks in the real world you would have married your brother's wife.
Yeah.
And that would have been the easiest route.
Absolutely, but essentially I killed my brother twice because I caused the accident and then I signed the DNR. So in her mind, that is horrible, a horrible thought, yeah.
And she didn't want to risk her child's security if they were caught.
But I think it was excellent.
Thank you.
Lady, look, in the real world, I would have become, you should have become the brother. I would have changed identities. There'd be no problem.
Wow,
Okay.
we're down the rabbit hole.
I'm confused between real world and fiction right now.
You're in the desert.
I need
This is
more
not the
coffee,
real
yes,
world.
That's what's happening.
Okay.
It got cut off in the trailer at the end of the film, but who wrote the song? I liked it.
Oh, the very end song?
Yeah, this ending
Good friend of mine,
song.
Ty Herndon, he's a
Oh, I
country
know.
singer.
He's good.
Yeah, and he actually, he didn't write the song, but he recorded it for us. It's going to be available at some point. I think he has an album coming out, but yeah, he called me up and he's like, I think I have the perfect song. So we were really lucky with the music, I think. I think we got really strong tracks in the movie.
Yeah, and Alicia Witt sings and wrote Do It, which was the song during the photography montage towards the end.
Now available for download on iTunes.
Right? Get out your phones, folks, get it.
We have to wrap this up, but where do you guys go from here?
I'm going to go to the bar and have a glass of wine.
Yeah, but no, come on. Career-wise, what's next?
Well, I'm hoping that I can actually tell somebody else's story as an actor, so I can just turn up on set and read the lines and leave, and I have to work so hard. And I have a short that I want to do, another very relevant gay political drama, and then a feature at some point.
I think no gay drama should be a short. I just think that. What are you doing next?
Well, I'm actually shooting a short at the end of July. That's kind of a crazy comedy.
Right.
And then I have an action thriller that I would like to do next that I wrote.
And Stephen?
I have another film that'll be coming out in August. It's a teen comedy called The Secret Lives of Dorks, but released by the same people who are releasing this. And then I have another film that we just premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, called another teen comedy called GBF, which stands
amazing.
which stands for Gay Best Friend, and it's basically like Mean Girls.
Dare.
And then basically, yeah, social warfare erupts in a suburban high school when the 3 teen queens of school compete with this year's must-have teen girl accessory, the GBF. And
You were not ready with that plug, were you?
No. The elevator pitch. I can do it
Ding, floor 3.
and then hopefully in September I'll be shooting another teen comedy called Extracurricular Activities about a high school kid who becomes a for-hire hitman.
Very nice, very nice. One last question. This is
I
it.
hope you have sent a link to 7 men and 2 women. We're going to speak soon.
I hear you. Thank you.
Well, we just want to thank you.